So I'm going to sign an executive order that says the state can take ventilators and PPE from institutions.
For almost 2 months, New Yorkers have lived under the dictatorial mandates of Andrew Cuomo. Crushed by the weight of pre-existing unconstitutional government regulation and Cuomo's current emergency declaration, the Second Amendment has effectively been canceled in New York State. Just as our governor turned supreme ruler planned it, and as we reported in March, at least 84% of New York State counties have suspended or ignored pistol permit processing duties amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Since Cuomo's state of emergency declaration on March 7th, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has issued guidance deeming firearms retailers essential businesses. The U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives announced that firearms retailers can sell guns and ammunition curbside amid the coronavirus pandemic. In the face of an overwhelming nationwide consensus that firearms retailers are in fact essential businesses, New York remains one of only 5 states to compel the perpetual closure of gun stores by order of Supreme Ruler Cuomo. To ensure gun stores remain closed, our Supreme Ruler has launched his own unofficial Gestapo police force. They unlawfully surveil and harass specific gun store owners that Cuomo particularly despises due to their past First Amendment protected free speech in defense of the Second Amendment. This is exactly what happened to Brandon Lewis, owner of the Firing Pin in Bergen, New York. Mr. Lewis captivated the nation when he attended the highly publicized Second Amendment civil rights rally in Richmond, Virginia earlier this year. He stole the show with his .50 caliber Barrett rifle and full-throated defense of "We the People" over progressive big government. In retaliation for his exercise of free speech in a totally different state, Supreme Ruler Cuomo has fashioned his newfound economic shutdown authority into a blunt club to specifically crush Mr. Lewis's firearms business. On April the 3rd, Mr. Lewis and his employees at the Firing Pin received a barrage of harassing phone calls from state agents. Claiming unlimited authority in these unprecedented times, the state unilaterally shut down the Firing Pin. The firearms retailer remains closed indefinitely until Supreme Ruler Cuomo decides to allow them to reopen, which could be never. This is why 2ANYS is partnering with the Firing Pin to sue New York State. We've been more than patient, giving the Cuomo regime almost 2 months to figure out a way to reopen firearms retailers and pistol permitting offices. Obviously, state government agents have failed, as they always do, and so it's time to take aggressive action. Our case will be more comprehensive and brutal than others that have been filed against the Cuomo regime in the Northern District of New York. We'll go far beyond a simple demand that firearms retailers be allowed to reopen in New York State. We will be attacking the entire pistol permitting regime in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, demonstrating that the shutdown of gun stores, pistol permitting offices, and regular access to the court system has effectively canceled the Second Amendment. With all this being true, the state must be compelled to transition to a constitutional carry-type system that does not rely on government offices being open in order to continually function. We'll be making a range of additional constitutional arguments against the unlawful nature of the entire New York State gun control regime, as highlighted by the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll also attack Andrew Cuomo's purported authority to rule over New Yorkers as a divine God King and pressure the courts to expedite our case with physical demonstrations and media exposure. Support our legal action and potentially become a plaintiff today at 2anys.com/COVID. That's COVID.